So let's talk about buying family land in Nigeria. This can either be one of the smartest investments you ever make, or it can be the costliest mistake. It's a path that's just filled with all these unique cultural and legal hurdles. In this explainer, we're going to give you a real practical guide to navigate it, and most importantly, protect your investment. So which is it? Is this a gold mine or minefield? Well, the truth is, it can be both. And the path you choose to walk is what determines the outcome. See, the difference between ending up with a profitable asset versus a total financial nightmare, it's not luck. It's all about having the right knowledge. So consider this guide your map to get through that minefield safely. Okay, first things first. Before we can even talk about the risks and how to avoid the pitfalls, we've got to start with the most fundamental question of all. What exactly is family land? Because I promise you, it is fundamentally different from any other type of property you might ever think about buying. Now, the key word to zero in on here is collectively. This isn't one person's property that they can just decide to sell. No, it belongs to an entire lineage, and it's all governed by customary law. And that one simple fact, it changes everything. It changes the entire game and how you have to approach this purchase. Okay, and this slide, this is where you see the two worlds you're dealing with collide. On one side, you've got the customary system. It's communal, it's all based on consent, and it's managed by the family head. But on the other side, you've got the state's statutory system, which is all about individual titles and official registration. Your job as an investor is to build a bridge between these two very different worlds. And listen, this isn't just some vague cultural idea. This is a powerful legal principle backed by the courts for decades. They have consistently ruled that no single family member, not even the family head, can sell the land all by themselves. So what does that mean for you? It means if you strike a deal with just one person, you've basically bought nothing at all. The entire family has to be on board. Okay, so if you need everyone to agree, how on earth do you prove that? Well, that brings us to what is probably the single most critical piece of paper in this entire deal. Because a lot of times there's no official title deed yet. Your purchase agreement, that becomes your legal shield. I mean, really think about that for a second. When there's no formal certificate of occupancy, this one document is your primary proof of purchase. It's what details the who, the what, the where, and the how of the entire sale. If you don't have a strong, clear agreement, you're essentially building your entire investment on really shaky ground. So what makes an agreement rock solid? You should think of this as your absolute non-negotiable checklist. You have to clearly identify the family. You need to confirm the authority of the people signing. You got to describe the land precisely, detail all the payments, and, this one is so crucial, you need a plan for what happens if a dispute comes up later. But look, an agreement is only as strong as the facts backing it up. So before you even think about signing anything, it's time to do some serious homework. Proper due diligence is what separates the savvy investors from the cautionary tales. This is your detective work. This is where you verify every single thing. And here it is, your 4-step action plan. Super critical. First, are the people selling actually allowed to sell? Second, does the whole family agree? Third, get a surveyor to map out your exact boundaries. And fourth, find out if there are any hidden customary fees you need to know about. Skipping even one of these, you're just asking for trouble down the line. So you've done your homework, the agreement is signed, the money's been paid. You're all done, right? Well, not so fast. Now comes the vital step of taking your private family deal and making it completely official in the eyes of the law. And here's the crucial point. This step, this regularization, is what transforms your land from just a family agreement into a real, bankable asset. Without this, you can't get a loan against it, you'll have a hard time reselling it formally, and honestly, your ownership is always going to be a little bit vulnerable. So, how do you make it official? Well, think of it like a 3-legged stool. You need all 3 legs for it to stand. First, you get a registered survey plan. Second, you secure the governor's consent, which is what makes the sale legally valid. And finally, you register your own title at the land registry. That's the finish line. That's what gets you that secure statutory ownership. All right, the deal's done, the title is in your name. You can finally relax, right? Almost. See, protecting your investment is actually an ongoing process. Let's take a look at the final measures you need to keep your assets safe and secure for the long haul. You know, when it comes down to it, it's all about one thing: your paper trail, your proof. Get everything in writing. Make sure it's signed and witnessed. Keep a clear record of every single payment. And always remember, in land disputes, verbal promises, they're basically worthless. Your documents, That's your arm. So after everything we've covered, what's the takeaway? It really just boils down to these 4 golden rules. 1. Verify who has authority and make sure you have consent. 2. Document everything, and I mean everything, in writing. 3. Formalize the whole thing with the state. And 4. Plan for disputes before they ever happen. Get these right, and you're turning a potential risk into a secure asset. Look, there's no denying it. Buying family land in Nigeria can be complex, but complex does not mean impossible. It's a journey, for sure, one that requires diligence, patience, and a really clear strategy. We've just handed you the map, so the only real question left is, are you ready to take that first step?